Hi everyone. In this video, I'm going to speak about the multi-dimensional list. I hope everybody know about the list, right? So lists are useful to store multiple items in a single variable. Multiple items which are of which can be a different data type. Like it can be a number, it can be a string, it can be a decimal value, it can be anything, right? Okay, it can be a boolean value also. Now, lists are known as one of the four built-in data types. What are the other three built-in data types? Tuples, sets, and dictionaries. So now let's start working about the multi-dimensional list. Lists are very widely used data structures in Python. They contain a list of elements which are separated by comma. But sometimes list can also contain lists within them. Means list is containing another list. Okay, so this is nothing but we call it as a nested list, right? So if block in another if block, so we call it as an if nested if, right? So here also list within another list, that is known as a nested list, which is also called simply say multi-dimensional list. A list keep track of multiple pieces of information in linear order or a single dimension, basically, right? So if we in the previous sessions we have covered that the lists are very linear data type, means only one dimension will be there. Okay, so however the data associated with certain systems like you take the image, the board game, the chess board game, or some other board games, they will be mostly two dimensions, right? So to visualize this data, we need a multi-dimensional data structure. So single dimensional data structure is not sufficient. So we need a multi-dimensional data structure for certain systems. Okay, so that's why we need a multi-dimensional list. So what is exactly the single dimensional list? So you're talking about the linear or single dimensional. What is it? So this is what we call it as a single dimensional list. Okay, so this is a very old fashioned way, and now you can say this is a two-dimensional list. So in the previous definition I told you that the list is this is one list, this is another list, this is another list, and this is another list. These four lists are kept in a separate list, a big list known as my list. The name of the variable is my list. Okay, so here 1 2 3 4, so four different lists are kept as one list here. So this is known as a nested list. We simply call it as a multi-dimensional list. For our purposes, it is better to think of the two-dimensional list as a matrix. So now if you consider this two-dimensional list, what I'm showing you here, so if this we can thought of as a matrix. See here, so this is how we can arrange the data, or we can see the data, or we can show the data in the form of a matrix. So what is matrix? Matrix is nothing but a grid of numbers which has been arranged in the form of rows and columns, like a bingo board. Now let's see here. This is one of the example. The name of the list is T. Here you can see if we arrange the data here, this the white color text what you are seeing here. So this is one row. So this is first row, second row, third row, and the fourth row. And see here. So in row, so every, I mean, this is also, the index is starting with 0. So row 0, so 0 indicates the index. Row 1, row 2, and row 3, and the column 0, column 1, column 2, and the column 3. And here the values of the list here is 11 12 5 2 is in first row, 15 6 10 5 in second row, and so on. Okay, and in this yellow color whatever you're seeing here, so this is the index. Okay, so you see where is this 11, this number, where is it? This is occupying the index position 0. So this one index position 0, and the column position is what? 0. And you see this one, the first one, this is the index value is 21. The index value 21 indicates that it is in the first the second row here, and see the column number is 1. Yeah, column number 1. So in the index, whatever the number you are seeing, the first one is the row number and the second one is the index number. So hope you got it. And it's time for us to see a small program now. Okay, so let me shift it to the program here. Yeah. So now you see this program. here the same data which I have shown you there. So this is what I have stored here, and I would like to uh, print the list of whatever the list we are storing here. I'm just saving this, and I will just run the program to show you how the output will be. So you can see here. So this is somewhat looking like a matrix, right? Okay. And how could we print this? So for this purpose, you need a good knowledge on how the for loop will work, right? So here I'm taking one variable. The name of the variable is R in order to run the first for loop, and you can see the index here. Sorry, the indentation here. So indentation is clearly saying us that we are opening the second for loop in the first for loop, right? And here in this for loop I am printing something here, and then afterwards I'm just coming out of this and just printing the print statement with an empty one. Okay, so this code is actually useful in order to print the entire list here. So first R indicates row and C indicates column. Okay, and till the R exists in the list T. Okay, I mean till the rows exist in the list T, then it will go into the for loop, the second for loop, and whenever there is a column existing in the row. So for example, if it is printing 11, okay, so if the next column is existing, it is going to print that. If the next column is existing, it's printing that. If next column is existing, it's printing that. So there is no other column, so nothing to print. So then it will move out of this columns concept. So first it is entering into the one row and printing this one row. So while it is printing, first it is printing a column. First row it is printing first column, second column, third column, fourth column. So all the columns are done. Then it will come out of this columnar for loop, and then it will move to the next row. I mean that is the first for loop. So next it will go to the second row, and it's keep on printing this. Okay, so for this, dear students, please you must have a good understanding about the for loop. Okay, so next you see here printing the c value indicates actually the position. Okay, the position of the element what is going to print, and every time it is going to occupy a little bit of space. So that's what we can notice in the output part here. Okay, so this space what you are seeing here, so if you want more space, and you just can give the more space here. Okay, so like this you can just give the more space, and you can just execute this. See, now the spaces has been increased here. Okay, so this is about the for loop. And if you wanted to know something like how if I wanted to add some more data in the for loop, how can I add data into the for loop? I mean one more row or something like that. So for this purpose, what you can do is you can use say append function. Say for example t dot say append is actually a function. So what we have to append is, say for example, I would like to append 20 comma 30 comma 40 comma 50. So this is what the data I would like to append. Okay, so I have appended the data. So please remember, whenever we use the append function, what will happen is it is going to the data is whatever the data you're adding, it's going to add at the end of the list. Okay, so just let me run this. I think I have already saved. Yeah, you can see here. So this data has been added at the end. Okay, so now what I will do, instead of this, I will remove this line, and I will say insert. Say for example, insert function I am using. So if I wanted to insert the data at a specific position, say for example, if I wanted to insert the data at the index position, say I mean the row position 2, say let me run this program, check. Yeah, you can see here 0 1 2. So this is the index in the row position 2. I have inserted the data. So whatever, if you wanted to insert the data at the required position, you can use the insert function. And if you wanted to append the data at the end, so you can just use the append function. Now it's time for us to see how to print the data in a required format. Okay, so a required format in the sense, you see here I told you very clearly that, so the numbers what you're seeing here is a the index position, right? So if you wanted to print, say for example 11, how could you print? Okay, so this number, I mean this position, if you wanted to print, how to print? What is a row and the column position? 0 and 0, right? So you can see here 0 and 0. Now let's execute this. So print of, say for example, print of t of the index position 0 and the columnar position 0. Okay, so now just save the program and execute this. You will be going to see the output as 11. Okay, So now let us check the another data. Okay, so if I wanted to, if I give 3 to, what is going to happen? So this is 3 and this is 2. Sorry, 2. Just save the program and execute this. So you're going to see the output as 8. Okay. So this is how, if you wanted to print the required value, I mean required position. So this is how we use the index positions. The index positions plays a very, very important role. You must understand this index positions concept. Okay. So if you wanted to print 5 means you can give the t of 2 and 3, right? So now let's see, if I wanted to print the entire first row. Okay. So if I wanted to, okay, so first of all, let me print this t value and show you. So now if I wanted to print this, okay, so if I print, I mean, just if I do like this, the data is going to come like that. Okay, now if I wanted to print only the first row, okay, so what I have to do is simply say row 0. Let me close this. Okay, so I'm not specifying the column. Okay, so if I don't specify the column, what is going to happen is, so it's going to assume that we are requesting for the entire row. So what is the row? So that is the row 0. So row 0 means this information, right? So now let's see here. So yeah, so we got it. Okay, so if you say number 2, what is going to happen? So it's going to get you the row number 2. Okay, so hope you got it. So if you want from row 1 to row 2, okay, so I mean these still this is row 0, row 1 and row 2, right? So if I write like this, row 0 to row uh, say 3. Okay, so 3 means it's going to get only till 2. Already you know about this. So now let's see here. So this is what, we are going to access multiple rows of information at a time in this manner. Okay, so that's all about the multi-dimensional list, that is two-dimensional list in Python. Okay, right. Thank you all of you. Have a good day.